I knew it. He didn't need to prove anything to me or anyone. But he really was a tough son of a bitch. He really was. He really was. You know, and that, that brings us to today. As my mom mentioned earlier, there was 3 things that he wanted. He wanted booze, he wanted music, and he wanted to be here. This place was important to my family. We used to be members here. I spent a lot of time here. My dad played tennis here. He met a lot of people here at the Comic Club, and he brought people here. He wanted to share this with them. And I remember this was our sacred place. I mean, we would golf. It's where I learned to golf. It was important to me and my dad and my mom. We have just so many amazing memories here. Some are really good and others not so much. Every year in the summer, I don't know if it was this one, they used to have this event, Father-Son Fishing Day. I think they still have it, I don't know. Yeah? Huck Finn. Yeah, Huck Finn. And we were going to go. And my grandfather, Senior, Bill's dad, was an amazing fisherman. He had a boat named Puffin. They would go to Mexico and do this all the time. They loved it. Greg had mentioned it, yeah. You know who did not like to fish? Bill. So when I was a kid, I remember it's Father Sunday, I'm all stoked. I'm like, yes, we're going to do this. It's my dad. We're walking out here. He's got his tackle box that he probably bought the night before. We're over at the lake, and we're all with all the other dads and everybody, and he's got his weight, he's putting weights on, and the rod, and the line, and does it one time, and it sinks immediately, and obviously it's wrong, it didn't work. He's looking around, he tries again, and I'm like, oh, he's got it. He's my dad, he'll figure it out. You didn't. He looked at me, he told me, he said, son, today we're going to have to find you a new dad, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That was the best part about my dad. He knew who he was. He never tried to be anything that he wasn't. He never got too high. He never got too low. He was always present. He was unapologetic for who he was. And that's what I loved about him the most. I remember even to this day, in a world full of chaos, he was steady. And even to this day, a month ago, I call him and ask him for advice, and most of the time he knew exactly what to tell me. He was right. But there were other times when he'd call me, or I call him, and he'd be like, maybe you talk to someone else about this, 'cause I don't know. And I appreciated that, because he didn't try to tell me something different. He just knew what it was. As I look at all of you out here today, he loved you all so much. He really did. And whether you knew him from birth, whether you knew him and were fortunate enough to meet him later on in life, when he spoke to you, he was speaking to you as if he was your best friend. He was attentive. He was kind. He commanded respect, and at the same time, he would give you his. He knew exactly what he wanted in life, and he earned it. I'm going to wrap this up so that we can get back to some cocktails and some music and reminisce with each other about everything. I'm reminded of a quote that someone once told me that really resonated with me, because this was a long process, but they told me, don't be sad that it's over. Smile because it happened. My father lived an incredible life, and all he would want is for you guys to celebrate that with him and honor him in that way. And to that, I will miss him. And he would tell you that he's going to be okay. And thankfully, he's got a couple people waiting for him up there with a cocktail and a couple golf balls. I love you, Dad. Cheers.